Okay, now here's a topic that would be very controversial, namely to people who look like this. Now, we all know about the Stephen A. Smith controversy. Now, before Stephen A. Smith made his comment that probably shouldn't have been very controversial, he made another comment, and it pertained to something that pervades the black microcosm. And before he said his very smart thing, he said a very dumb thing. And it was as someone raised by a single mother. Now, most black men will do this and say this, first off, because most of us are raised by a single mother. Secondly, we do it because they teach us that no matter what, a black single mother is a god. She is unquestionable and she is infallible. That is why the community is pervaded by so many of them. So many of them that are fat, weave wearers, have never been married. It's because the men that actually are good, they don't want that. They don't want some weave wearing, perm having, attitude having chick that thinks she's all that and won't, if she's trying to get a mate, won't even try to make her physical self the very best, let alone anything else about her. But we've been taught that they're perfect, that they are infallible. And this whole when we talk about single motherhood, we put it up on a pedestal like it's something to actually go after. The only people who do that are poor blacks. Well, no, not poor blacks, but poor bottom caste in general, and really, really liberal liberals, really, really left-leaning liberals. You don't see most of the suburb-dwelling middle-class white people, you know, putting single parenthood and single motherhood in particular up on a pedestal. And even most of the liberals, as much as they try to exonerate those women, usually to get their votes and their sympathy and their support, those left-leaning liberals still get married before they have their kids, before they adopt some kid from Africa. That tells you that even if they say they support it, it's still not good enough for them. That's why they don't engage in it. That lets you know that those liberals are hypocrites. We should all know that. They say that they love us while giving us entitlement programs that put us in bondage. That's not love. That's hate, that's arrogance, that's superiority, and that's racism. The very same thing that you Negroes say you have a axe to grind against, apparently you can't see the racism there. But the fact that we put this up on a pedestal like it's something to go after is what is destroying us. Because it sets a very low standard for our children to look at and follow, and then they repeat the same thing. Because how do generational curses start? There's a behavior that is negative that starts in one generation that they will many times freely engage in. And they will not take the time to teach and instruct their child why not to do it in their own adult life. Namely because they don't want to stop doing it in theirs. And so the child repeats it. That boy says, well, my father, he slept with a whole bunch of women he wasn't married to and got them pregnant. I guess it's cool. Just abandon your kids like that. That young girl says, well, mother had 5 to 6 kids by 7 to 8 different men. Must be alright. And because of this, we have a societal breakdown because you have more women than men. And the women that you have, for the most part, They ain't crap. You have effeminate men who are raised by women, and then masculine women. And do you know where that masculinity comes from? Well, let's look into the animal kingdom with creatures like lions and whatnot, and other animals. Whenever you had to have a female that's that aggressive, it's because usually that female has to fend for herself. But usually when you see animals where the female can be more docile, where the female doesn't always have to go and hunt and fight, you see closer knit, longer lasting lives in those animal relationships, in that animal paternity. So if animals can figure that out, why can't we? Why do we prop up on a pedestal a mindset and a lifestyle that does us no good? And I'm not saying to bash the single mothers and fathers, because there are good single fathers. I'm not saying to bash those that are good. Although I will say the majority aren't good. And I'll also say this: they aren't doing anything extra. They're just being parents. You aren't doing extra because you're just doing your job in the absence of the other parent doing theirs. You're just playing catch up because you don't have the same comforts or luxuries of other parents, i.e., the other parent married to you to help you and love you and raise the child together. But you're still only one parent. You're not the mother and the father. Many times you have, if that's the case, then you're a crappy mother and a crappy father. And I'll also make this controversial statement. I say the majority of the single fathers that are good, I say they're higher in number than the single mothers that are good. Well, I think they're better parents. I think they're better equipped to be parents because usually the single fathers that are good, they will start straightening up as soon as possible for their child. A woman, because we pamper them and we ask no accountability out of them, it will take longer. That's why you have generational curses of women, all in the same house, all in the same hood, same apartment complex, dropping off kids, dumping kids, borrowing each other's clothes, each other's jewelry, going up in each other's houses, treating it like it's a store. Men don't do that because men would be vilified for doing stuff like that because they would ask us, well, where's your own food? Where's your own clothes? Maybe if we started asking more of women, they would start doing more. And man, if you stopped sleeping with these women that you weren't married to and asked an actual high standard of them, maybe we'd have less hoes and more housewives.